All right, well, let's jump into this first story. Let's talk about some authoritarianism.
Yeah.
From Timcast, breaking, Steve Bannon says at least 35 Trump allies had their homes raided by the FBI on Thursday. He was speaking with Charlie Kirk. Harmeet Dillon came out and said, can confirm this happened to many Trump allies I know as well. So I'm wondering if it's actually more than 35. The quote here is, there were 35 raids last night, Bannon said. And there's another grand jury coming together on January 6th. The Washington Post reported it. 35 senior members of MAGA, Republicans, supporters of Donald Trump, that the FBI rolled in on. So I'm wondering, Biden comes out and he says MAGA Republicans are an extreme threat. Mm-hmm. A lot of us were like, oh, that's their campaign strategy, right? I'm wondering if it's more than that. That they want to prime the American people, say it enough, get enough of their bots and garbage corporate press to agree. Right. That way, when they start arresting people, they'll say, oh, but you guys know how bad it is, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's hard to say for sure, right, exactly what that was. And it certainly, could be, okay, this is a campaign video and this is the play, right? The play for the midterm elections. Well, he can't claim to be a unifier or any of this stuff anymore. He can't really run on any of his policies. So basically what's his only play left is to gin up his own base by saying, hey, the other side is so evil, to get out the votes for Democrats. Kind of a desperate attempt. But I got to say, and this is what I was talking about the other day when that speech was given on my podcast, Part of the Problem, that I was saying, look, this really reminded me of like a George W. Bush 2002 speech. It had everything from the creepy red backdrop, the military members like right behind him. This was like, it seemed like a war drum speech. Mm-hmm. Like if you remember, 9/11 happened in September 2001. We invade Iraq in 2003, but the whole year of 2002 was this slow, beating the war drums, pushing the war propaganda about what Saddam Hussein is doing. And it did have that feel to it. I think that, look, let's just call it what it is. Donald Trump for 4 years was framed for treason by his own deep state, by his own intelligence apparatus. Now, that is kind of a real thing. That's something pretty interesting, that you have the CIA and the FBI and the NSA working to oust a democratically elected president.
With help from the corporate press.
Right. Oh, yes, with help from the corporate press, from social media, from big tech, from both parties as well. So now what you're really seeing is that it has definitely been deemed unacceptable to the establishment for Donald Trump to be reelected. I mean, not reelected, elected again, whatever you want to call it. Think about that. What a devastating blow that would be for their narrative. And I think that after the FBI raid in Mar-a-Lago, they went big. I don't think they can do that and not follow this up with something big. They can't just raid a former president's house and then say, all right, we didn't find anything, it's nothing. Okay. They got to go for it now. So this is, again, if Bannon is telling the truth and this is what happened, this is another major escalation in that step.
Bannon's not the kind of guy to hoax like this. No. And Harmeet Dillon's a lawyer. She's not this hyper partisan. I mean, she's obviously, partisan in a certain sense, but she's a lawyer coming out saying can confirm this happened. I take it seriously.
The thing I think that the general public should actually look when they see this. Okay, cool. You don't like Trump. You love Trump. Whatever thing you fall in that space. I think the thing that the general public should really be thinking about is these are the weaponization of entire intelligence communities to go after presidents and to slow somebody up for their, okay, I'm going to go in again in 2004. Right? So if they're doing that to someone and that's their political opposition that has resources, that has access, that has all of these other different things, the general public should be thinking more so about, do you want to vote for a guy come in a few years? Do you want to vote for a party? Do you want to vote for a system or a group that has consistently shown you? Because it's not just on the left. They're just the guys in charge, the Democrats now. And they're unhinged with it. Like that whole Mar-a-Lago thing, Adrian Norman really, he posted on his Twitter page, it's like, right here, it's saying this was sent by Biden.
Yeah.
Clearing, whatever.
Well, so this is, just to clarify, this one's interesting. Biden in May requested what the documents they thought Trump had were.
Yeah.
Then they go and raid Trump's Mar-a-Lago with the feds, a few months later. And so did Biden literally say, I want you to raid his house? Or did he go, oh, won't someone please get me these documents? and then wink, wink, nudge, nudge, the feds went and did it.
I think it's again, like we were saying before camera. I'm past the point of believing that this is incompetence.
Agreed.
It's too strategic. You know, the sun rises, and if you're depending on your location, the sun's right there. At this time, the sun's going to be here. That is an organized phenomenon. It's too many oopses, and because we're looking at Biden as this, you know, the old dude that's struggling with dementia. And we kind of like, that might be the drunken monkey. Like, I'm not above, this is a very intricate movie.
We made this joke before that Biden bumbles and fumbles off stage, and then as soon as he's behind the curtain, he stands up straight.
Evil.
And he goes, all right, did they buy it? Now let's go blow up some kids in the Middle East.
Right.
Well, but I also think like whether how much of it went up to Joe Biden and how aware he was, it's almost irrelevant at a certain point. I mean, we know it went to Merrick Garland, right? So he already said in his own press conference that this was his decision. So it went to very high places. I don't know if that's, at that point, who really cares?